Hey up, it's Steve from the old Yorkshire Geek, and this is the Friday night appointment with Fear pre-show. I say a bit early, about 15 minutes early, from the main event, the main feature. But I thought we'd just have a look at some shorts and stuff like that. But before we do that, let's do the intro, and I'll do it again later, but we'll do it again now. Ooh. Right, so off we go. Before we start, a good look at some shorts, some horror shorts on YouTube. Some you might know, some you might not, I don't know. Some of them I've seen, some of them I'll be seeing for the first time. But before we do that, tomorrow, I know it's short notice, but tomorrow in Sheffield there's a convention called Popcorn Con. And if you're a horror fan, two of the guests there are, there's Carolyn Munro, who you might know from Dracula AD 1972, Captain Kronos, and a few other, horror films in the 70s. And also Valerie Leon, who is probably most famous for Blood from the Mummy's Tomb, where she played the main character in that. Also from the early 70s. But they're there. Hang on, I've got it on my screen here. Where are we? There you go. So that's going on at... by the way, also there, Red Dwarf people, a Doctor Who, and Doug Naylor's also Red Dwarf. Two Doctor Who's, or two Doctors, and Julian Glover. Oh, you can't see. Hang on. There we go. Move that back over. And Julian Glover, who, for horror fans, was in Quatermass and the Pit. He's probably been in other stuff as well. But that's tomorrow at, there we go, at the Magna in Sheffield. Technically it's Rotherham, but it's closer to Sheffield. And it's tomorrow. And the link is in the description. If you want to buy tickets, there you go. This is taking us to the ticket website. Accept all. And does it say how much they are? I don't think they're that expensive. There we go. Adult ticket, £10, which is fine, innit? Child, 16 and under, £8. Kids under 7, free. There you go. Family ticket, 2 adults, 2 kids, £30. So there you go. I don't know if you can pay on the door. It doesn't actually say there, does it? Does it? Just says buy your discounted tickets online now. So you probably can pay on the door, but it'll cost a bit more. I don't know how much it'll be. Maybe it says, but I don't know. It doesn't say there anyway. So give that a go. I'd like to go myself, but I can't. I wanted to, but it's not happening. Right. So as horror shorts, we'll look at them. Move that back over so you can see the screen better. Not my fat head in the way. Right. First up, we're looking at is Lights Out. This is a famous one. Obviously directed by, I can't remember the director's name. Does it say there? Show more. Oh, I can't remember his name. But he's gone on to be a famous director anyway. And he did the feature film Lights Out, which I thought were really good. But I think this short is actually better. So let's watch it. David Sandberg, that's who he is, yes. Excellent, that. Cool little film, that lights out. And the feature film version's okay. I actually prefer that. Let's have a look at another one. What's this one? 2 a.m. The Smiling Man. I don't think I've seen this one. So let's have a look. So, we're going in this together. I'll mute my mic. By the way, I'll put the links in the description.
What the hell do you want?
That was okay, I suppose. It was okay. A nice little short film. What time are we on? Got time for one more. Right, let's have a look then. Another quick one. What's this one? Don't Look in the Mirror. So we have a look at that one, eh? It's only 2 months old, so let's have a look at this. Put the volume back up.
Look at me.
Looks like you're coming home with me.
Look at me.
So beautiful.
Look at me.
Lauren? Lauren, are you in here? Hey, I was worried about you. Why aren't you answering my calls? Lauren? Lauren. Hey, I'm talking to you. Lauren.
Mom? What are you doing here?
I've been calling and texting you and you haven't responded. What's going on? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Then why have you been ignoring me?
I haven't. I don't know what you're talking about.
Look at me.
So beautiful.
Very good. That were another interesting one. Right, we're getting ready for the main feature now. As I said, I'll put the links for those ones in the description, and of course the link for Popcorn Con at Magna in Sheffield. It's a good place. I've been there before. Right, but let's get ready for the main show. Where have I put it? Got a couple of minutes yet till 9 o'clock. Don't want to start early in case, there's no viewers watching now, but somebody might come in at 9 o'clock. This week's film is another of my favourites. It's From Beyond the Grave from 1974. It's an Amicus anthology film, or portmanteau, if you want to be posh. So there's I don't know, there's 4 or 5 films in the segments in this. I can't actually remember. We'll see when we go through it, and they're all very good. I'll say it's my favourite one. Peter Cushing plays the owner of a second-hand shop called Temptations, and if you rip him off, woe betide you, because bad things will happen. Even if you don't rip him off, bad things are going to happen, but you won't end up dead. So there. Right, so, we'll get ready then now. We'll get ready. So we'll start again. I will do the introduction. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Friday Night Appointment with Fear. Right. Hey up, it's Steve from that old Yorkshire Geek. If you didn't watch the the pre-show where we watched a couple of shorts, including Lights Out, the famous one, and a couple of others. That were fun. Right, so as I said, we're watching From Beyond the Grave, an Amicus movie. Amicus is another studio famous for their horror films. They're kind of Hammer's, leading rivals. That's the word. I couldn't think of the word then. Leading rivals. And they like doing anthology films or portmanteaus where you got like 4 or 5 short stories in one film. So they were usually quite effective. Usually saved the best for last, but not always. They had a bit of a comeback, didn't they, recently with films like VHS and Trick or Treat and stuff like that. And there were another one that Christmas Horror Story. That was another one I liked. And all that. So, say portmanteau anthology films have had a bit of a comeback recently. But this one's from 1974. So let's crack on. There you go. It's a Warner picture. So, by the way, we're not going to be watching the film, obviously, because for copyright reasons. We're just going to go through the film and talk about it and tell you how much I love it. So here we go. An Amicus production. Hang on, there we go. And it'll say From Beyond the Grave. I should imagine any minute now. There we go. From Beyond the Grave. Spooky intro. It's got nothing to do with the film because the film doesn't take part in a graveyard. There's a lot of big stars in it. As I said, there's Donald Pleasance, there's Peter Cushing, there's Ian Bannon, Margaret Leighton, Ian Carmichael, Nairi Dawn Porter, who else? Angela Pleasance, Donald Pleasance's daughter. Ian Ogilvy, before he became the Saint. And David Warner, the late great David Warner, in my favourite one of the thing. I think it's actually the first story, and I think it's my favourite because it gives me the willies every time. So anyway, so there we go. So we'll go through the credits a little bit. Right. What's that say? What does that say? Just all hallows in the field. I don't know what it's showing that for. Because it's using it as a pan into this alley. This is David Warner. There we go. He's heading to Temptations. It's a second-hand shop. So in he goes. And he sees a mirror, a big mirror. As you can see, there's all sorts of junk and weird stuff in this shop. There we go. He's found the mirror there. Look. Oh, pardon me, burping. It's very dusty and all that. Do we have subtitles on with this? Let's have a look. Oh, yes, they're on. So let's see what he says. There's Peter Cushing appears as if by magic, and he's got lovely Yorkshire accent. There we go. It's a lovely piece, is that, sir? Quite lovely. So anyway, he buys it off him. I think he gets it off him cheap, and then I don't know if he. I think he steals the money back. I think we shall see. So here we go. Get some money out. What does he offer him? Oh, I don't know. No, we missed it, didn't we? Let's go back a little bit. It's very old, and he's trying to make out that it's not quite what he knows. It's been treated. I know my antiques. Look, I'll give you 25 quid to get rid of it. I think he asked for like £100 or £75, something like that. He asked for quite a lot of money for it, and so he's got it cheap, 25 quid. So he's ripped him off. So anyway, he gets it home. There it is in his flat or apartment, and there's having a party. There we go. So some of his friends in. Told the old fool it was fake. So there we go. So there's the mirror in Pride of Place. And it's about 400 years old. There we go. But all is not seen, as it seems, with this mirror, as we shall see. Oh, they do a seance. I forgot about that. They do a seance, and obviously it all goes wrong. Kind of gets possessed a little bit. I think the candle does weird things. It goes doo-doo-doo. You ready? I'll do it in a minute. You know. There we go. See, it does that nice blue flame. The spirits are coming through. Anyway. So that's all. They finish that up, you know, and he has some sort of vision. There we go. He's having a vision. He's in some creepy woods. And there we go. Sees this chap, this figure, heading towards him. I think he's got loads of knives under his... Oh, can't see. Maybe that's later. No, it's not going to show it, is it? There you go. He's got loads of knives, look. And he's stabbing him, and then he comes round, and then they all sod off. Right, so he's in bed. There we go. And the mirror all goes all smoky, and then the face appears at the mirror. Oh, and the glass shatters, look first. And then here we go. You ready? That used to scare the poop out of me when I was a kid. Come. And he wants blood. This spirit in the mirror, this ghost, I suppose he is, wants blood. So he basically, you know, gets ladies of the night or whatever to go back to his room. And he murders them because the mirror wants blood. The spirit in the mirror wants blood. So he does this, and he ends up killing loads of people. And I think he's hiding their bodies under the floorboards. And every time we see the ghost in the mirror, it looks a bit more, you know, a bit less ghosty, so they say. Every time the mirror calls to him, look, he don't want to answer. He's getting covered in blood. I don't know why he's doing what it says anyway. I don't know. But you'd think he'd just get rid of the mirror, wouldn't you? But he doesn't. He just does as he's told. Anyway, he's ended up being rumbled by his neighbour. Oh, there's the... oh, we just missed it. The spirit again. So he's out looking for more women. So anyway, he picks somebody up. There we go, takes them back. There, he's looking a bit more human now, look. Oh, there we go. A long time ago I gave my sacrifices. Now you must give them to me. So it's, you know, it's a cyclic thing. He probably had the mirror as well. So he's had to kill people. Now David Warner's got to kill people. I think he smashes the mirror here. You ready? I think he does. Soon I can walk. And I'm sure he smashes the mirror, and then, you know, obviously he unsmashes. Does he? Or am I thinking of a different film? It's been a while, actually, since I've watched this. Yes, he does. I knew he did. There we go. Smash. But then it doesn't stay smashed. It ends up just back to normal. I don't think we see it. We don't see it repair itself. It's just mended. Right. So anyway, I think the young lady, the main young lady that we saw earlier on, she wants to come round. There she is. He hasn't seen her for a while. Ooh, keep forgetting to pause it. So she comes round, but then I think he sends her away. He's saying he's all right. Sends her away. So he saved her life basically. There we go. There's the ghost back again. He's saying he needs more, but he's not going to kill her. So the ghost says, "Find me another." So she goes away. This is the fellow that lives underneath him in the flat below, and he starts noticing there's blood dripping through the ceiling. So he's not happy about that. There we go. So he goes up. I think he ends up done in. There you go. Under the floorboards. And then there we go. He's come out now. He's got enough blood and he comes out. There we go. And he ends up in, and David Warner ends up in the mirror. He looks a bit weird, doesn't he? Not as a ghost. He looked better as a ghost, to be honest. But never mind. But he's looking, all gaunt. Once beyond the ultimate, we can feed and gorge ourselves forever. So that's it. The kind of demons now. So there we go. He's going to get stabbed, is David Warner. Grip my shoulders. Oh, he's got to kill himself, hasn't he? Pulls himself onto the knife. There we go. Yeah, got to do it himself. So he ends up in the mirror. The ghost chap sods off. David Warner's dead, obviously. Then decorators come in. I don't know what they've done about the bodies under the floor. Maybe the police found them. I don't know. I don't know. There you go. It's been done in, done up, should I say. And new people have moved in, but the mirror's still there. And then we see that mirror. I think they said, shall we do a seance? Because it looks like it belongs in the medium's parlour. There you go. Stupid, aren't they? And there's the smokiness starting in the mirror. You think, it's not a very good mirror, that, is it? But then David Warner appears in it. The worst mirror in the world, isn't it? It's not very reflective. But there he is. He appears in a turtleneck sweater. At least the other fella had a bit of panache, didn't he? But there we go. So that's the end of that one. Then we cut back to Temptations. By the way, we see this chap. Can you see him? Yeah, we see this chap a few times. He's keeps looking in the window and keeps getting distracted. He's basically, spoilers, is going to try and rob the place later on at the end. But he keeps getting distracted by customers. So next up, I think it's Ian Bannon next, I do believe, or I could be wrong. Yes, it is. There we go. Ian Bannon. He sees a medal in the window, but he don't buy it now. There we go. He goes away, and he sees Donald Pleasance, who's selling books of matches and shoelaces and stuff like that. And he buys, some from him every day. Ian Bannon is like an office worker, a middle management sort of thing. He doesn't earn a lot of money, but he thinks he wishes to be above his station. He wants to be more like middle class, but he's really like an upper working class person. Anyway, he gets this friendship with Donald Pleasance's character. I can't remember what he's called. Hang on, let's have a look. Donald Pleasance, he's called Jim Underwood. Ah, yes, that's it, Jim Underwood. And his daughter, his real-life daughter, Angela Pleasance, plays his daughter in this, called Emily Underwood. And this is the only thing I can remember seeing her in. I'm sure she's been in other stuff, but this is the only thing I can remember seeing her in. And she's, like a dad, she's, a striking screen presence. She's not amazingly attractive, but there's something about her. It's a little strange. Anyway, but we'll get to that. So he buys some shoelaces, I think. There he goes home, and his wife is married to Diana Dawes. Who wouldn't want to be married to Diana Dawes? I would. Even in the later years when she'd piled on some weight and stuff, she was still gorgeous. I think she was anyway. And they've got a kid who's got a 70s hairdo, and he's a bit of a little shit, but whatever. Anyway, she's obviously, it's not a happy marriage. She's always nagging him, and he basically don't want to go home. He hates his home life. So that's that. She don't feed him very well. No, he's not got... there we go, get on with your dinner. Oh, he's sodded off. They've had a row at the dinner table. And he's gone off. There goes. Sees Donald Pleasance again. Buys some more shoelaces. Or matches, whichever. And then he asks if he'd like to go to theirs for dinner. I think that's what he asks him. So he accepts. And I don't know if he goes now, but he goes soon. Because he says, he's an old soldier, and Ian Bannon. What's the name of the character? Christopher Lowe. He says, he was in the forces himself, and so that's why he goes and gets the medal from the shop. And I think he steals it, actually. Yes, he goes back to Temptation, says, I'd like that medal to replace one that I've lost. And Ian Bannon says, yes, have you got the certificate? I couldn't sell it to you, if you didn't have the certificate. He said that, here we are. It's to replace the one I lost. And then he asks him if he's... there we go. You mind asking, sir, but do you have the certificate? Yeah, so you don't want to be selling it if it's, not genuine. So anyway, puts it there, and he says, I'll leave it there, until he goes to get the certificate. And but he steals it. And Peter Cushing says, oh, shouldn't have done that. In a minute, you ready? Peter Cushing's bogged off, and there we go. He's gone in, nicked it, and he's seen it. Look, bells tinkling, and he shakes his head and tuts. Shouldn't have done that. Naughty. There we go. Shouldn't have done that. So anyway, Ian Bannon, Christopher Lowe shows Jim Underwood his medal. Because as you can see, he's got his ribbons there, his medals there from the war. And I think this is where he asks him to go to dinner. So that's what he does. And it actually goes quite regularly. Ends up not being hungry when he ends up going home. He's saying he's working overtime. He's saying, well, aren't you earning more money? And he says, clerical staff don't get paid overtime, or management or whatever, you don't get paid overtime. But really, he's going for his dinner at Jim Underwood's. There we go, taking him there. We go and they live upstairs in a little flat. Everybody lives in flats, it seems. There she is. Let's say she's very striking features. I won't call her attractive, but she's a lovely person. But you can tell she's Donald Pleasance's daughter. Let's put it that way. But she plays a really good part in this, and she's quite hypnotic, I must admit, especially when she's singing to herself. Anyway, he says he's got to go off, meet some of the lads, and he'll leave Christopher with Emily. So that's what happens there, and he ends up basically having an affair with Emily, as we'll see in a minute. By the way, the kid in Christopher's family is obviously not having a good... He hates both his parents, basically. So anyway, he's gone back there to see them, and Jim sods off again, leaves them alone. But Emily's made a voodoo doll, I do believe. And obviously Christopher don't believe it. And he says, yeah, kill her, whatever. I don't really believe it's happening. Oh, I'm thinking of something else. She's gorgeous, isn't she, Diana Dawes? Oh, there we go. There's Emily with a knife over her. But obviously, she don't kill her yet. I think she just gets maybe some of her hair or something like that. Right, so he's back there again, having more grub. Jim sods off. Leaves them alone. And they end up snogging or whatever. I mean, it can't go on much longer, can it? We're nearly there. They're on his shorts. There we go. So I think this is where is. There we go. That woman, she's not a wife to you. What's come over you? You've never spoken like this before. I wish to serve you. You think, oh, crikey, I'm off. She's mental. So, she's basically saying, she'll take care of him and do away with his wife, and he's not really listening. And eventually says, yes, do it, but he doesn't really mean it, but, she, the wife ends up dead. Diana Dawes ends up dead. See, they've done the deed, and probably part of the ritual. And anyway, he's got to go home. Anyway, I think he gets home and finds his wife. Oh, here we go. This is where she's using the voodoo doll. And he don't really believe it, but, he says yes. He goes, yes, do it. And he don't really believe it's going to happen. There we go. Quite a good voodoo doll, isn't it? Quite a good likeness of Diana Dawes. Anyway, he gets home and sees the kid on the stairs. Sees his mother's dead. Ian Bannon's gone up and seen this. Oh no! And then they arrive to some music. There we go. They get married. Look. And everybody's happy, and he cuts the cake. For some reason, he cuts the cake in the top of the groom's head. Instead of cutting the cake, he cuts into the groom on the cake, as we'll see. There we go. Cut the cake, shall I? Yes. Do you want me to? Yes. Oh, I think she cuts it, doesn't she? Well, they both do. Yes, he's given his permission to do it. And she cuts into his head. You think, why are you cutting into me? Why are you cutting into the the head for? Obviously, then we get all blood going down. Look, blood going down Ian Bannon's head in a moment. Look. And then he dies. Then it turns out they were there for the kid, whose name escapes me. Lowe, Mabel Lowe, and what's the kid called? Stephen Lowe. Good name, Stephen, except he's spelt with a PH. So he's dead. So they've done the deed for the kid, got rid of both parents, and now he's free of them, and that's the end of that. He shouldn't have stolen the medal. Right, next up is... Who's next? The next one is, I think it's Ian Carmichael next. There he is. Ian Carmichael's coming. There's that dodgy chap being interrupted yet again. Ian Carmichael, he's after a snuff box, and what he does, to break the rules, he sees a snuff box he likes, and then he sees one next to it that's a lot cheaper, and he swaps over the price labels. So he gets the one he wants, at a bargain price. He's being dishonest. And then to add insult to injury, he haggles and gets an even better price. There we go. Here he is looking at the snuff boxes. So he does this, and then he starts doing that with his shoulders. Something's wrong with his shoulder in a bit. He's on the train home, but anyway. Oh, here's Peter Cushing arriving with his stuffed crocodile. So there he goes. Haggled him down. I think it's for like £4. So it should have been £5. But he takes it as it is. I think the original snuff box, the only one, I think were like £75 or something like that. Really expensive. But anyway, there we go. No sale, because it's going to be his comeuppance. I like this one as well, because it's she's amazing in this. Is Margaret Leighton. She's on the train home opposite him, and he keeps doing that. So she says, "Oh, you've got an elemental on your shoulder." There we go. There you go. He don't believe her, obviously. He's a killer. No, you really must listen to me. Anyway, she's there we go. Particularly a nasty specimen, a real stinker. So she's, some sort of psychic medium, she's paranoid. It's like a Ghostbusters, a paranormal eliminator. But obviously, he doesn't believe her, but she leaves her card. Let's get the subtitles. There we go. Don't try and rub him off. He won't. That's it. He's dug in deep. Well, I think he says it spits at her. Anyway, well, that might have been before. I'm trying to pause it where there's no bloody subtitles. There you go. She's giving him her card. Madame Orloff, clairvoyant extraordinaire. Full psychic service rendered. There we go. Right, so he gets home. Obviously thinks nothing more of it, but he keeps, his shoulders are uneven, His wife's Nairi Dawn Porter, and they seem, they've got this nice cottage in the countryside. They're a bit well-to-do. But, I think the thing, the elemental scratched her. So, and then later on, she accuses, I think she thinks he's hit her. And then later on, he accuses her of trying to strangle her in her sleep. Accuses him. There we go. But obviously it's not him, it's the elemental. But she thinks it's him. Says, no, of course not. I was nowhere near you. So he calls Madame Orloff, and she comes over in a very flashy Rolls Royce, vintage. So she comes over and does her cleansing. It's all very, very entertaining. Everything goes mental in the room as it happens, as she does it. We'll get to that. Here we go. There we go. Let's move it on a bit more. There we go. Everything starts coming apart in the room. Things start moving about, and in poltergeist fashion. Anyway, she does her job. There we go. She says, it's done. It's done. The deed. She's got rid of it. Or she thinks she has, but she actually hasn't. And it's, I think it's gone into his wife. By the way, I think the dog's dead, or it's run off, or something. No, we're at it again. I thought we'd done, but we haven't. So she carries on, and she's doing her, psychic cleansing. There we go. It's all kicking off. Nairi Dawn Porter just, let's go. Well, it's a bit of a ruddy mess. Hey. So, anyway, I don't know how much she asks for. Is it £75 or something? £50 for this little do. But she's rented a Rolls Royce as well, so it'll be whatever that as well. I don't know, 50. Could you rent a Rolls Royce for, like a tenner back in 1974? I don't know. Probably not. Anyway, worth every penny. Half price on Thursdays. But all is not as it seems. They think everything's all right, but then something happens with her. He goes to do something, and there we go. She clonks him. In a minute. See, I've missed it again. Look. There we go. It's falling down the stairs, but it's stunt man. That Bob Simmons, it looked a bit like him, didn't it? Anyway, he gets up, and then he sees her standing over him, but she's turned evil. The thing's gone into her, and she kills him. Thinks she. Oh, hang on. There you go. Gone into her, so she goes away. She's clonked him with a poker or something. I don't know. Killed him, and she bashes the door down. And walks off into the night. There we go. So he shouldn't have ripped off Peter Cushing, should he? No. Right, so next up, I think with Ian Ogilvy. Here he is, before he became the saint. Ian Ogilvy in the last story, or I suppose you could say it's second to last, but it's really the last. And he sees a big door. There's a big door propped up behind all this other stuff, and he's very taken with it. There it is. Look, an ornate door. It actually reminds me of something that had been like a Graham Masterton novel. Wrote books like The Heirloom, which was about a chair that was possessed by the devil. And this is gives me that sort of feel that it's a door that's possessed. But it kind of is, but it isn't really. It's a doorway to another realm, or to wherever it was originally the door to. It says it was a door to a red room. Was it a red room or a blue room? I can't remember. It might say in a minute. Oh, blue. Very, very elaborate in its day. So he says he wants £50 for it. So all he's got is 40. That's going to leave him flat broke. So he says, okay, you can have it for 40. And he gives him the money, and then he starts counting it. Oh, he's got to deliver it as well. And so it must be free deliveries. Because it's going to be delivered. So he's got to, out of that 40, he's got to pay somebody to go and take it round to Ian Ogilvy's house. Hey. So there you go, starts counting. It's all in ones. Old £1 notes, them were the days, eh? There we go, so the door's being delivered, and it's actually just using it as like a door for there we go. I was just propping it up a minute, but it's going to be a door to just like a stationery cupboard or something like that. There you go. So just happened to fit. You wouldn't think it'd be a standard sized door from donkey's years ago, would you? But anyway, I think it's when the clock strikes midnight, the door opens and we see the blue room beyond. There we go. There's the blue room. Let me have a drink of water. Hey. There's the blue room. And somebody approacheth from the blue room, but he manages to run out. Before he can get got by whoever it is. It actually looks a bit like Cat Weasel. It might actually be him. Let's have a look. Who plays the whatever he is? Does it say William C? Oh no, that's him. The door. Oh, it's Jack Watson. Oh, right. It's not who played Cat Weasel, it's Jack Watson, a famous actor. But never mind. Right. So, there he is. Oh, you can see that. Look, actually looks like Jack Watson, doesn't it, in that painting? Yeah. So he's looking around this room. He's finding it all very interesting at the moment. Not particularly scared, but then I forgot his name now. I forgot what he said. He's where are we? Sir Michael Sinclair. That's the name of the ghostly character that Jack Watson plays. He comes through this other door in a moment. There we go. He's run out. I don't think he's seen him just yet, has he? There we go. The door handle's turning, and there we go. He has the willies put up him, and he runs out and closes the door. And they should have done this with no cuts. They should have had loads of. They should have had somebody backstage just shoving the. Maybe he does. I don't know. I can't remember. Shoving the stationery cupboard there, but does it? See if there's any cuts. There's no cuts there. No cuts. Is he going to look back and see if the blue room's still there? Oh, looks like they have done. They have done this. They've done it with no cuts. Go on, open it. The stationery cupboard will be there. There it is, look. So obviously, that's somebody behind there pushing that in the doorway to cover up the blue room. Or it's magic. Right, so anyway, he's thinking about this. He's basically interested at the moment. He don't think there's any danger. So he's going to go in again and see what happens. There we go, it's gone in again. And this, I think we see Sir Michael this time. He's reading about him there. Anyway, Sir Michael comes this time, and he's not to be trifled with. There we go. The door opens. There's Sir Michael, looking all cobwebby. But he's run out. Close the door again. What they call her now? Leslie Ann Down. That's Leslie Ann Down there. The lovely Leslie Ann Down. Obviously, going to show it, but nothing will be there, will it? So he don't understand it. She don't understand it. Neither does she. There we go. Oh, he's I forgot his name now. So Michael Sinclair's. I think he's got Leslie Ann down. He's going to take her into the room. He follows. Obviously saves her. There you go. He's going to smash the door. That's it. That's it. Starts hitting the door with an axe. And as he's doing that, there you go. There you go. It gets the axe. Good job he had that there, isn't he? Good job he's into old-fashioned stuff. And he whacks the door. Boo! Oh, and it hurts him as well. And so he does it again. Oh, don't drop Leslie Ann down. And the door's bleeding, look. And the portrait's through and the door's bleeding. And oh, crikey. So that's how he saves her. All the room's collapsing, look. And there you go. And gets them out. And they're okay. Even though, you know, he's got a knackered door now with blood all over it. But he gets away by the skin of his teeth. There we go. It's all collapsing. It's all, as my mum would say, it's all collapsing. But, you know, they get out just in time. Closes the door, and I think that's the end of that. There you go, Sir Michael Sinclair. It's going to finish him off, I think. Oh no, there you go. Does he just fade away, or does he do a crumbling into dust sort of thing? To Skellington, yes, he is. They're doing some dissolves. There you go. He's turned into, he's like Dracula. So there you go. So that's the end of that. So that was a nice happy ending, sort of. Even though they barely got away, you know, with their lives. There we go. Gets blown away. But you know, I think the door. Oh, it turned into a normal door now. Look, the scary door's gone. It's become a normal door now. There he goes looking. What's happened? What's happened to my door that I paid 40 quid for and got delivered free? Don't bat an eyelid, look, because they survived, and that's all that matters. I still want my scary door back. And he's counting 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. It's all there, jolly good. So he didn't get ripped off, so he survived. Did he an Ogilvy? Because he's the saint. I used to like the saint. The return of the saint, wasn't it, with Ian Ogilvy? Right, this chap's going to go in and rob the place. So I just pause it again, else I'll be getting copyright strikes up the wazoo. So he's going to go in. You know, he wants all the money out of the till or whatever. He's got a gun, by the way. Here we go, he says, look. Oh, no, he ain't got a gun, that's it. He's got the guns. He's preparing them for a client, and he actually gives them to this chap. He loads them both first, and then gives them to him. And then he says, look, now give me all your money. You ready? Oh, dear. Peter. Perfect, yes, out there. Come on, get on with it. Now, put your hands up. Put your hands up. Do they say that? They still say that, you know, in robberies. Put your hands up. Take your hands up, you bum. Right, so, first the till. Take the money out of the till. We know there's 40 quid in there, at least. But he starts shooting him. Well, he shot him twice. But obviously, it doesn't do any good because Peter Cushing is from beyond the grave. He's not of this earth. So he shoots him. And